Sorry. Choking on some jawbreakers here, Brandon.
Damn.
You a candy guy?
I'm a candy guy. You know what
I got a sweet tooth problem.
You know what my kryptonite is? Oreos. Get me a little
Jawbreakers.
give me a little bong load and some Oreos, a little shot of milk. Whoo-hoo. I'll put down a fucking sleeve in a heartbeat.
I like mini jawbreakers. I've always had a thing for them. I was at the mall the other day. I was walking by. I was like getting some clothes because I'm going to Paris in a couple weeks.
Whoa!
Yeah. And I was like looking at some clothes, and I walked by a candy shop. And they just had a big thing of mini jawbreakers. And I just fucking scooped some up, and I got some while I was walking around.
That's the fun part about being an adult, is doing shit like that. The win.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I love like sweet tarts, you know? Love a good sweet tart.
I'm a big sweet tart guy.
Yeah, I like a lot of sour candies, so I'm right there with you on that.
You and I are the same in that regard.
I like
Sour
taffies.
Patch.
I like shit like that. Yeah. You know, Laffy. I like them taffy. Yeah, a lot of, like Sour Patch is a good time. I even just like some peach rings. Fuck it, those are fun. Why not?
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah. You know what else I like? I like talking ball with you, Brandon.
Whoa! Segued me, papas. Are we in?
That was good. That was good. Welcome back. It is Deferred Collusion. It's me, Jesse, with Brandon. Brandon, how are you, sir? Happy to have you back.
I'm good.
Looking healthy.
I'm excited. Getting the camera to follow me around. I'm wearing my AEW shirt because just like this podcast, we are all elite. Jesse Rowe, I'm your co-person. Brandon, you're tapped in with another episode of Deferred Collusion, and it's been a fun week of baseball. We're a little late again. Oops. Life happened. I don't know if you guys watch any combat sports. But there was a big one that just passed, and my buddy Jesse was covering it like damn wind.
I was locked in with the Israel Adesanya Dricus Du Plessis fight. It was a great fight, by the way. Did you watch it?
I did. It was great. It was great.
Did you buy the pay-per-view, or did you use Streamies, which got shut down over the weekend?
You know what's funny is I was at a little block party. My wife and I got invited to. Brought the baby girl out. We're having fun. You know, it's my buddy. He's the godfather to my daughter. And, we were talking about watching the fight. And he was like, oh, should we stream it or should we buy it? And I go, actually, check this out. And on Inside Fighting, it said, oh, my God.
Right.
There's been a crackdown by was it the DOD? Or DOJ?
It was Homeland Security. They, I guess, shut down Streameast, but what's funny is that Streameast has, like, all these different extension sites, so it's like, all you had to do, I guess, was change .io to .app or to .co or something like that, and they were able to figure it out. Plus, there's all these other sites. Everything was fine. Everybody who was panicking was able to watch the fights, but, of course, I paid for it, Brandon, because I'm I support... I paid for it, I support everybody. But it was just funny. People were panicking for a little bit because they thought they were going to actually have to spend $80. What was it, like $79.99, whatever it is for a pay-per-view?
We split it, so I wasn't quite too sure. But we opened up our ESPN app on the old PS5. Streamed beautifully. It looked great. It was a delight. It was fun.
But it was good. It was a good weekend for that. But even better weekend for baseball, Brandon.
Hey, we're talking.
This is a baseball show.
Big hits. My man Shohei Ohtani looking like he's going to be the first Dodger to hit the 40-40 club, and
it's amazing.
Looks like he's going to be maybe the fastest player to ever reach said benchmark of 40 home runs and 40 stolen bases. Talk about a pace. I mean, Shohei's in a pretty big slump right now. I think in his last,
I was about to say that
14 games or something like that. He's batting under 200. All the other metrics look bad, but boy, can he get a hold of one, My God.
It's unbelievable what he's done, But yeah, I was looking at a stat of his that he's 10 for 70 or something like that over his last, something like that over his past like 14, 20 games. But not a big deal because there's been somebody carrying the load a little bit for the Dodgers, which has been a big relief. Now, Mookie Betts did come back, so the Dodgers are very happy about that. I do think that the vibe of the Dodgers has totally changed since Mookie came back, since Kershaw came back. I think that like the vibe has... They're a new team. They're back. But Gavin Lux, bravo to that kid, because we were pretty hard on him, like a month ago, that it felt like he didn't even belong in the major leagues anymore for a period of time.
Yeah,
he's been one of the best hitters in baseball the past like month and a half. It's been pretty impressive what he's done.
I mean, talk about a 180. I mean, I think he was a negative WAR player just 2 months ago. I think he's racked up nearly 1.5 WAR. Jess, could you tell me if I'm just bullshitting? Again, that is the Deferred Collusion fact check. No higher quality in the game today.
So I was actually going for game logs is the thing. So I wasn't going for but here's what I'll tell you. So in July, he hit 299, 385, 652 with the 937 OPS. In August, he's hitting 328 with a 391, 569, 960 OPS. So that's 2 months now, almost 2 full months of over 940 OPS. That will do it.
Yeah, I saw a little something that he'd been working with his uncle. Just working on the swing, getting aggressive and early in the count, kind of going back to what he was doing in the minor leagues. I think his strikeouts have ticked up a little bit, but I mean, you can't argue with results. And
Uncle Augie,
Ogster. Nothing like a little uncle time. You know what I mean? There's Funkles, and then there's the Fungo uncles who'll just get out there and do a little BP with you. But
I have a bone to pick with this, though. But go ahead and continue.
Real quick, I just wanted to say, I mean, dude, just to really hammer it home, we were talking about this guy having the yips in spring training. Like, he couldn't field a ground ball. He couldn't make routine throws. I mean, let alone get a hit. He just looked lost out there. And now he's looking like that killer from Kenosha that we thought, was arriving almost 3 years ago now. To the bigs and just that meteoric rise from the minors. So shout out to you, Gavin Lux. You've really done it. You are this week's winner of the 180 degree award. There you go, dude.
The inaugural 180 degree award. Yeah. I have a bone to pick with this.
Hit me.
Because he's been incredible. So during the All-Star break, while the rest of the Dodgers were playing in the All-Star game, like Dodgers had like 4 or 5 guys in the game. Gavin Lux went home to Kenosha, Wisconsin to go see his family. And he links up with his Uncle Augie, who's he's the head coach of Carthage College out there in Milwaukee, I believe.
Nice.
And
Never been.
Community college. I've actually been in Milwaukee. It's not bad.
Nice.
It's nice. I went there once as a kid.
I've spent a lot of time in community college, so that's rad too. Uncle Augie.
There you go. It's no different. So he goes and I guess Augie, the advice that Augie gave him was, hey, be more aggressive, get ahead in counts, swing harder, things like that. I'm like, these are basic principles. This isn't like something that you. It's easier said than done. This is just like basic stuff. Now, there could be more detail to it that I'm not privy to, right? But that's what Gavin Lux was sharing to the media. But I was just thinking about it, I'm like, the Dodgers hired Robert Van Scoyoc and the Swing Kings. They basically siphoned off all of these great hitting coaches. There's a book about it called Swing Kings. And all of these hitting coaches that the Dodgers basically just bought out. They just bought out all of the best hitting coaches.
The Guggenheim.
And Uncle Augie from Carthage College had the answers for Gavin Lux that these so-called Swing Kings didn't have. What's going on with the Dodgers here, guys? Like, what's going on? Everybody's getting injured. The our pets' heads are falling off, as you've lamented. Everybody, something's wrong with this Dodgers, like player safety, injury prevention department, swinging. Like, there are guys like Chris Taylor. Van Scoyoc is Chris Taylor's guy. Like, Chris Taylor reinvented his career because of Robert Van Scoyoc. He's nowhere to be found. I know he's been dealing with some injuries and stuff, but yeah, just interesting. Just interesting to me that this is that he needed to go back to a guy that coaches at Carthage College to reinvent himself. I don't know.
Jesse, I do think you've made some really interesting points. You've touched on some things that I think are fair to question. One, Dodgers coaching staff. A lot of people want to go for Dave Roberts all the time, but I kind of don't understand. I think that there's a whole system of support coaches and stuff that are working with guys on their swing and their tendencies and yada, 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 making adjustments, which you have to do, as pitchers adjust to you. But yeah, a lot of guys getting hurt. What's going on? A few years back, it really felt like the Dodgers were a step ahead from maybe the rest of the league. But you've said this once, the league caught up, and now there's some other things a brewing that seem to give a little edge to analytics in the postseason, namely like chemistry being one. My case in point are the Phillies. Look incredible. They've, been right there for the World Series the last couple seasons. Built around Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, JT Realmuto, Schwarber. I can go on. That pitching staff, Wheeler, Nola, etc. But a lot of vibe guys, that I just rattled off, and a lot of fan guys. And I think there is something to that at the end of the day, we can provide all the information, all the analytics, all the nuts and bolts that you have to really have to compete nowadays, but you still need that little bit of edge. And I think that's just going back to basics, going to feel, being aggressive, getting ahead in the count, doing the basic baseball stuff,
So remember last week I was talking about the thing that the Dodgers were missing that teams like the Phillies have is that they don't really have that asshole in them all that much.
I do recall.
They're a little too nice. Mookie, Kirsch, Freddie, Shohei, and they're all like the top highest paid guys on the team. They're all very nice guys. They're good leaders. They're sweethearts. None of them are dicks. I actually think that's going to change with Muncy coming back. I think Muncy brings a little bit of that dickishness to the team, a little bit of that cocky swag that the team needs.
Trying coming back, we need a little bit more of that Oakland in
a little more of that January 6th.
Whoa! It was it was just a bunch of guys hanging out, dude. Relax.
Yeah. So
it's public property, right?
I don't want to shift. I want to shift off this because you mentioned how the league has caught up here a little bit, right?
Yes.
I heard it. I heard it, Brandon, and I'm moving off because I just don't want to go there. But it was public property. It was.
Stupid.
You mentioned how the league has caught up a little bit here.
They're caught up.
Jeff Passan put out a tweet about that. He says this is shaping up to be the weirdest baseball season in a decade. With 6 weeks left, here are the dozen best records in MLB. Now, those records have changed, but it's more or less the same, right? But those records have changed. Phillies, 73-51. Dodgers, 73-52. Orioles, 73-52. Yankees, 73-52. Guardians, 72-52. Brewers, 72-52. Twins, 70-54. Padres, 70-55. Royals, 69-55. D-backs, 69-56. As of right now, few days have passed since that tweet. The current overall standings in baseball. The Dodgers have the best record in baseball by a half a game.
Oh.
There are 5 teams separated by a half a game for the best record in baseball. And the top 10 teams are separated by 3.5 games. The Houston Astros are 5.5 back. It's insane how close everything is right now. I don't think I've ever seen a season where we're this close. I'm trying to think of seasons past. I mean, obviously not this deep in the season. Rarely do you see it this close. Normally there's like one or two teams that are kind of ahead of the pack, but it kind of feels like we're finally in that era where Moneyball needed a little bit of like it's been 20 years since Moneyball, since like Oakland days and everything. I think it needed a little bit of like a generational adjustment where all of these teams started to like implement it and understand it. And now you have teams like the Royals who are able to know where to spend money in the right places. Use Moneyball, but also spend a little money, but spend it in the right places. The Diamondbacks doing the same thing. You got the Twins doing the same thing. You got the Orioles doing the same thing. None of these teams are like massive payrolls, but they're all keeping up. And I think that we're finally in that era now where like half of the league kind of gets it.
Yeah. So I do want to say that I don't know if Moneyball's fully out because, I mean, there are teams that are spending and they're making fucking insane money. You know what I mean? Dodgers, Yankees, Red Sox, whatever, you know. But is this what happens when Moneyball dies a little bit, or is this what happens when you have a bunch of owners colluding how much they think players should be paid? And is this kind of what you get when you get this agreed upon, like, flat kind of curve of spending?
It's both.
You know what I mean?
It's both.
So it's this kind of like, there's a steep drop off at the bottom, you know, your A's, your, you know, Marlins, etc. But a lot of them are kind of in the middle and like didn't really buy. Some teams even sold off pieces. But yeah, it is strange times. I believe this is the first time since 2014 that no team is projected to win 100 games. So a cool decade. There you go, you know. And that seems weird, right?
Yeah, I mean, the Dodgers would have to go right now. They would have to, in order to win 100 games, they would have to lose 62. They have 52 losses as it stands. So they would have to go 36-10. 26 and 10 the rest of the way.
Yeah, and I just don't see it. I don't see it.
They could.
Yeah, totally.
You know,
I think they could. But I'm just saying that based off of like injuries this season, timelines for guys getting back. But I tell you what, it does look good for it. October. Potentially you got guys like Muncy rolling, Tommy Edman rolling. That lineup starts to sound pretty deep when you're talking about Shohei, Mookie, Freddie, Teoscar, Muncy, Will Smith, Tommy Edman, you know what I mean? Gavin Lux, we were just talking about. And then, you know, some sort of weird Dodger plug and play elsewhere, you know. Miggy Rowe. I don't know if Nick Ahmed stays on to the expanded rosters. I don't know. I really don't know. But I do got to say one thing. You talked about a certain player, Chris Taylor. Definitely hasn't looked the same. But I just got to give him a little street cred real quick. Just, you know, he's not in his late 20s anymore. Just like an Izzy Adesanya, you know. Maybe if he was in his late 20s, he beats DDP, you know. He stuffs that tape down.
Yeah.
And maybe Chris Taylor, you know, isn't so banged up, and maybe it's not on the Dodgers training staff after all. But hey, that's just a deferred collusion, you know, conspiracy.
It might actually be on the front office for building a team around a lot of guys that are injury prone and older. You know, a lot of people don't give that criticism to Friedman and to Friedco. But I agree with you about that. The league has definitely sort of set like an agreed upon market price on a certain caliber of player, and they're not supposed to do that. But a lot of these owners, it feels like Kike Hernandez mentioned this in the offseason that
absolutely
He couldn't get an offer above $4 million. 1 year, $4 million. It was like everybody was offering him the exact same deal.
Yeah, and there was a couple other players that had said similar things to that as well. Like I think there was like talk about the timing of offers coming in were all kind of the same as well. Some weird stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of these teams could end up kind of having similar records, but also similar flaws. You know, because they all have to pay for a certain caliber player, and only the Dodgers and the Yankees and the Phillies and these teams are the ones that are actually paying for the top tier caliber of player. And that's what's putting them over the edge right now, is because the Dodgers have been killed by injuries, but they just have enough of that top tier talent to sort of keep them alive. That like a team like Kansas City, that's a bad example because Bobby Witt's been amazing. But like, a team like
because the Royals, like Atlanta, cheating. The Royals have been cheating. We all know that, Jesse.
Right.
All right.
True. The Royals have been cheating, so let's wipe them out of this conversation. But like the Mariners, for example, who wasn't willing to, they have this incredible pitching. We've lamented this, not willing to spend that extra dollar on these bats. They just didn't invest in bats. And look where they are now. They might not even make the playoffs, Brandon. Like, they were leading that division. They might not even make the playoffs.
My friends in Seattle, I know there are some just damn suicide watches out there. Like, just, my God. Talk about our pets' heads falling off. Yikes. Oh, man. Tough times. But
it's shaping out to be an incredible finish.
Yeah,
whatever happens.
It is exciting. The chaos is compelling. Quote that. That's us. The chaos is compelling. Yeah. Deferred Collusion. We got shirts coming out for you.
Chaos is compelling.
Let's
go. Chaos is a letter.
Whoa, dude. Who out of that list, I'll just burn through it real quick. Phillies, Dodgers, Orioles, Yankees, Guardians, Brewers, Twins, Padres, Royals, D-backs, Astros, Braves. Right now, as of today, who are you most afraid of running into in October?
You know, I think the Arizona Diamondbacks is probably the easiest answer, simply because we saw it last year. There is some recency bias to that. But they've also been like the best offense since the end of May. They've been since May 30th, they've been the best offense in baseball. Dude, Ketel Marte has been unbelievable. I know he's injured right now. I think he's out tonight.
Sorry to interrupt you. 1 sec. Marina's coming in with the baby. Let me get in the door.
I would say the Diamondbacks, so recency bias, obviously, for obvious reasons. But their offense has been great. Ketel Marte has been an MVP this year. He's been unbelievable. Corbin Carroll start to pick it up. That's an offense I would not want to face. And I think that they have enough pitching.
Big cock Jock.
Oh, you mean Fat Jock? Do you see those photos of Jock going from Dodgers from like 2015 to now, over a 9-year span, how he's like thickened up? What a thick boy he's become.
Hey, that's what happens when you win a couple of World Series back to back.
Yeah, dude. Hey, he's happy, man. He's happy. And you know what? He's playing well. So, like, how could you hate on it too much? He's
happy
exactly what they need him to be.
Jesse, I got a little TMZ memory. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to say that, but
yeah.
I can remember, dude, like being off of like Abbott Kinney, and you and I were like having lunch. Like, I don't know, maybe you were working at the airport or whatever. But we were like watching highlights of Jock making like some insane catches in center field and like Rancho Cucamonga. We're like, dude, this guy's the future. And, like, I don't know. I've been a Jock fan since, I don't even know, 2012, 13, you know?
He was like a 30-30 guy in minor leagues. I remember thinking he was going to be like a 30-homer, 30-stolen base guy.
Yeah.
So I went for one of my I forget what birthday was. I want to say, so it was like 2016, I want to say. I went to Arizona with my dad. It might have been my 30th birthday, like 2014. So we went for like my 30th or something, and it was the Dodgers were playing the Diamondbacks in Arizona, and I saw Jock Peterson hit a home run. We were sitting behind home plate. Actually, that stadium's kind of awesome, by the way. Like,
I've never been.
Doesn't get a lot of credit. It's actually kind of a cool stadium. good food, good atmosphere. It's like it's actually kind of clean too. But Jock hit a home run, and to this day, it's the longest home run I've ever seen hit in my life.
That's rad.
And it was like a line drive. Just like the way the ball left his bat was unlike anything I'd ever seen before. And I think that's just kind of the guy he is. He doesn't like always make great contact, but when he does, you are fucked. Kind of player.
It's fucking spectacular.
I mean? A little bit like a Schwarber type of player, like like maybe just like a step below Schwarber. That's Jock Peterson.
Yeah.
And I love that guy. I absolutely love that guy. I wish the Dodgers still had him, but yeah, I would say the Diamondbacks. The other answer I would give you would make the Padres are an interesting one because they've been playing really well. But I mean, look, Houston Astros, man, they have turned their season around. They're playing great. They're running away with that division. How would you ever want to face the Astros after what you've seen over the past 8 years? They have been what is it, 7 straight ALCSs now since 2017. So it's like, how is there any other answer?
I call it 4 Astros? Straight because we know that they cheated from at least 17 to 19.
I know.
So 4 straight. Sorry, them's the rules.
Regardless of that, they have been to 7 straight on paper. And
love me some paper.
They win every year. How would you want to face? And they don't even have Kyle Tucker right now. Kyle Tucker is still due back. He's been out with a shin injury for like the past fucking 2 months. That team, I don't care who you are in the American League. If you're the Yankees, the Orioles, you don't want to face that team right now.
Definitely not, dude. I think those are. It's funny because we agree so much that
and the Dodgers, of course, you don't want to face the Dodgers.
It's not good for content. But no, I do agree with you, actually. Respect to the Padres. They've been just as hot as anybody the last month or so. And you know what? I do want to give a little respect on that Braves name. I know they're beat up. I think Austin Riley just went on the IL.
Dude, they're gutted.
You know what? Chris Sale looks like he could be a fucking Triple Crown guy, dude. What are we talking about here? I think he's fucking.
I just don't know if they have enough, Brandon.
I agree, but in like a 3-game series, you got a Sale, Fried. I don't even know who else they got that's been pitching for them. But they got
Strider's out, Ozzy Albies is out, Acuna's out, now Riley's out. It's that's a lot.
No, you're right. You're right.
You could survive 2 of those guys. I don't know if you can survive all 4 of them, man. That's
no, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
There's like in a wild card game, dude, that would be a lot of fun.
The experience factor for sure. Like that's a team that like just knows how to win. Like no question about it, they know how to win.
I mean, is there a funner sounding wild card series than like Padres Diamondbacks right now? Just how fucking hot they are.
No. That I think is like a very likely scenario, by the way. One of those teams is not. How do you avoid it? I mean, as of right now, the Brewers have the biggest lead in all of baseball in their division, so they're gonna win.
Who had that after they traded Corbin Burns? Who would have thought the Brewers? Wow.
That front office is front office of the year. If you think about it, good job. Yeah, exactly.
And so they let Craig Counsell go. Just hey Cubs. Enjoy it.
Right, exactly.
Enjoy Craig.
And if the Cubs, who are 11 games back, it's funny. So the Dodgers have a 3.5 game lead or something like that. I was worried, a 3-game lead. I was worried they were gonna lose the division. I'm a little bit more optimistic now. I think that they've kind of turned a corner. They got Mookie back. They got Kersh back. Kersh looks good. He's been pitching really well. They got Muncy back. I think that they should be able to hold on. So then you've got, in the East, you've got the Phillies. They're going to hold on to that division. They're 6 up on the Braves right now. So it comes down to Padres, Diamondbacks, Braves, and maybe the Mets. Like,
wow, we are in a world where the Braves could miss the playoffs altogether.
It's going to be Diamondbacks versus Padres for a chance to play the Dodgers or the Phillies. So one of those teams is not going to make it, and those are 2 teams that could win the World Series. Like, make no mistakes about it. Those are 2 teams that can win the World Series.
Well, you heard it here first.
Buckers and parts. So I do think so. So it's just that's going to be a fire fucking wild card round. That 3-game series, Padres Diamondbacks, that'll be fire as fuck. That'll be really good.
Yeah.
So sucks for them, but like, hey man, this is why winning the division is so important. I know that a lot of people say that, like, oh, the Dodgers, they got hurt by the fact that they were rusty by the time the Diamondbacks came into town, and all that time off hurt them. But it's like, yeah, but they were guaranteed a spot in that round. That's you gotta take the good with the bad, I guess. But anyways, fun times, Brandon. Either way, let's move on. Let's move on because we're running out of time here. My favorite story of the year is possibly coming to fruition, and I know that that it is a possibility at this point, but it has not been a good season for the Toronto Blue Jays.
No, sir.
It hasn't. It's been a bad year, but there is possibly a saving grace that one of the all-time great sports stories could potentially happen, and I'm trying to find it. You sent it to me. Is that Danny Jansen,
your boy,
who was a catcher for the Toronto Blue Jays, was traded to the Boston Red Sox around the trade deadline. There was a rain delay game. That was, when was it? It was, there was a rain delay game sometime before the trade deadline. And they're going to have to make up that game on August 26th. Okay? Danny Jansen, it was a suspended game. Danny Jansen was at the plate with an 0-1 count at the moment the game was stopped.
That's so cool. That's such a cool little weird oddity.
They're going to have to resume that. Okay? So, Danny Jansen was traded to the Red Sox, so they're going to have to pinch hit for Danny Jansen in that game, obviously. But here's the kicker. Danny Jansen could also step into the game and be the catcher for the Red Sox.
Which has to happen, right?
In the same at-bat. So he would be the first person in history not only to play for two teams in the same game, but he could be the first player in history to be at the plate and then be behind the plate for the same exact at-bat in the same game in baseball history. And come on, if you're the Red Sox, like, you have to make this happen. You just have to. Like, it would be so historic. Like, you're not going anywhere this year. Just fucking make it happen, right? Just do it.
I mean, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, you got to, like, let this happen, right? But I am confused. So, like, is he going to step into the box and then jump down to catch the pitch? Or is he going to take a hack? Like, how do you decide?
No, so he wouldn't be able to hit. So they would have to basically turn him into, like, a pinch hitter. Here's the other thing. Is like,
so they would sub him out of his own at bat so he could catch his own at bat for the other team.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't actually know if he's even, like, allowed to play the game. That's the other thing. It's like, are you even allowed to? I guess theoretically, like, you could trade somebody mid. It would be like the same thing as trading a mid-game. You know what I mean? It would be sort of the same thing. I don't know. But if it's possible, if you could actually do it, you have to make it happen.
You gotta let him lace it up and take a couple hacks in the old Toronto uniform, dude. Somebody's still got one of his jocks hanging around.
Per The Athletic, whoever on Toronto pinch hits to replace Jansen will keep his own result of the plate appearance. It will not be credited to Jansen, so it will be a different player, so it won't be credited to him. But he'll still be credited with that one pitch, so it's because it's going to be an 0-1 count, so it'll be a pinch hitter. But so he will begin the at bat, and then he will end on one team, and he will end the at bat on the other team. And he did give a quote to The Athletic. He said, "It's such an oddity. It's going to be nuts." So let's make it happen, Red Sox.
I love it. I love baseball is the home of weird shit like that. Speaking of,
it would only happen in baseball because there's no rain delays in any other sports. It's the only sport where this would ever happen. So, So,
fact me, big guy. Give me them facts, Daddy. But speaking of homes, Jesse, we did an episode a couple weeks back about players going to new homes at the trade deadline. Now that we've had a few weeks in, boy, have some players really made themselves at home. Some guys have really ingratiated themselves with some new fan bases. Jack Flaherty with the Dodgers has looked great. Fans love him. Justin Turner out in Seattle. I don't think he's tearing the cover off the ball, but is adding a little veteran leadership to the clubhouse, as well as a bat with his boy Randy Arozarena from the Tampa Bay Rays. But, Jess, I think there's one player in particular that has kind of taken a town by storm, and that is one Jazz Chisolm of the New York Yankees. And, Jess, I think you didn't see that going down that way, did you?
Well, let me look at his stats for a second. Let me reserve my judgment.
Whoa, that's not the song you were singing off camera, Ray. You were wallowing in that self-pity and regret of the slanderous comments you made about Jazz's ability being a non-factor for the Yankees. And all he did was tear the cover off the ball and, I believe, his elbow. But
look, a working clock is wrong twice a day. Is that the saying? No.
Shakespeare. Hey, no, I'm just kidding.
We're all entitled to swing and miss every now and then, so to speak. I didn't like the move. I'll be honest. I did not like the move for the Yankees. I thought it was a bad fit. Maybe I was a little bit of a boomer. Let me be honest. I might have been a little bit of a boomer. I might have thought that he wasn't going to be a good fit for that media market in New York and that fan base. And maybe that's just a little bit of an outdated, antiquated philosophy. You know what I mean? Maybe that's just a little bit out of touch. Maybe it's just me and my midlife crisis catching up to me here. You know what I mean? But
all of those answers are correct, by the way.
Yeah. He's been good. He's been very good. He's been very good. In August so far, he's hitting .290 with a .341 on base, a .553 slug, and an .894 OPS. That is exactly what the New York Yankees needed. It's no question about it. He's been a great fit. He did have a few bad games. I'm just going to say, I do want to point out he had a few bad games.
That's baseball, baby. That's baseball.
But
baseball.
Let's see how he performs in the playoffs, Brandon. If he fucks up in the playoffs, you're going to be like, yeah, maybe you were right, Jesse.
Fuck off, dude. I'm a Kershaw guy, dude.
I know. No, I was wrong. But, it's fine. I was wrong. I missed it. And
but on top of that, going out representing at the Little League World Series while he's been on the IL, I know that he was palling around with a kid whose favorite player is Jazz Chisolm. I just thought that was so rad. I couldn't imagine just for one, getting to the Little League World Series, which was such a dream of every kid I grew up with playing ball with, you just see it on TV it's going to be us this year. And every Little League gets to have that little dream for a week or so, right?
Dude, it's a great story. His best name ever, by the way, Little Russell McGee.
Sick.
Great name.
Great sounds like a backyard baseball character. So rad.
By the way, just to go back to our opening segment of this episode, Gavin Lux just hit a solo home run.
I saw that. I just didn't want to interrupt, dude. Sick.
Yeah. Anyways, so no, it's those are two players, by the way. Gavin Lux, I was ripping on pretty hard, and I was ripping on Jazz Chisolm, and hey.
I do want to say, we were talking about the Miggy Rowe stuff and, whatever, but, say what you will, because it's all, at the end of the day, just personalities. They're going to clash. These guys are all grown men competing. But it is cool to see a guy get traded and, really step into the spotlight of, a tough media market and just, look super rad while doing it. Just being a good ambassador to kids, to a city. I'm stoked for him. I think this is the start of a successful era with Jazz and the Yankees.
Yeah.
As long as the injury bug doesn't strike another goddamn player, dude. Everybody's getting hit.
Do you think Jazz is one of those guys that just needs to be needs to have a little bit of to be on a good team? to play well, to feel like he has something to play for, right? Because in Miami, they were garbage. A bad team, no question about it. So Jazz has something to play for. He's a little more Jazz might be one of those guys that needs a little bit more motivation, right? That was my concern. He didn't seem like he seemed like a guy that enjoyed people talking about him, but not necessarily feeling like a guy that would have a lot of accountability, I guess is kind of how I looked at him. So I was wrong. But also, do you think Jazz might be one of the guys that needs to be kind of in the spotlight a little bit to shine? Because there is more expectation on him, and maybe he's one of those guys that just needs that in order to feel like he has purpose. You know, like he's worth playing harder, I guess.
Maybe, but I mean, we are, I think, maybe being a little unfair because we have to look at it from the perspective of somebody coming from the Miami Marlins, who has traded away every talented player they've had in the last decade and are in a non-compete mode once again. So I think to have anybody, let alone have fans being excited, maybe it does give you some more juice. And maybe when you are trying to be a little bit more of like a star of the game, maybe it does give you a little more reason to be locked in, maybe to put in a couple extra swings in the cage, or maybe not go out, maybe like he said, he just likes to sleep. He hasn't really checked out the town. He's just getting rest because all he cares about is performing on the field because that's what the city wants, right? I dig shit like that.
I do too. Max, by the way, Max Muncy just homered.
We got a game in LA all of a sudden.
So I do want to. I want to move on because this episode's going a little long. Hey, look, it's going a little long. I want to admit, I was wrong on Jazz Chisolm. That's fine. Let's move on from the segment. I was wrong.
Hold on. Before we move on, we're talking about guys that went from maybe a good team to a bad team to a good team, and that impacting their play. That screams to me Alex Verdugo. He seemed like he was an emerging star in L.A. I'm serious.
By the way,
goes to Boston.
I had the same segue. You're taking my segue.
Goes to Boston.
That's why I'm laughing. Yeah.
Goes to Boston. Gets pissed. They're not trying to win. You know what I mean? He's got swag. He's got diamonds, baby.
Yeah.
El chingon way. But what I'm saying is, maybe Jazz was just allergic to his batting gloves out in Miami, because that's what it turns out is the case for one Alex Verdugo. Jesse,
allergic to batting gloves. How? So since he said so, this is the weirdest story. Verdugo says he's been allergic to batting gloves since 2021. He's been dealing with this issue to 2021, and it's possible that it's his tattoos that are part of the problem.
That was the interesting thing. And you know what? I'm not going to lie. All my fellow parents out there with young kids, I'm going to use that one. Hey, don't get a tattoo. You might be allergic to the ink. You got to wait till you're older.
That's what I'm gonna tell That's what I'm gonna tell women from now on. Hey, I can't wear a condom. I've got too many tattoos, baby. Whoa. I got too many tattoos. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Whoa, dude.
It's so they're. Hold on, I had a whole thing set up here, and I just lost my place in this article.
Oh, you're over here trying to show me your little dinghy, dude. My God, you're gonna get us taken off fucking YouTube, bruh.
Over the All-Star break, Verdugo may have found the reason for his down year. Speaking of players that might not have fit with the New York market, Alex Verdugo is another one of those guys. He had a beard, he had tattoos, wore chain necklaces. He's like the white Jazz Chisolm. And he was just not a great fit for New York. But he was having a pretty good year for like a couple months and then kind of really hit a downturn. Over the All-Star break, may have found the reason for his down year. His batting gloves, specifically Yankees doctors and allergists found Verdugo is allergic to chromate and cobalt, two chemicals found in batting gloves. Basically, Verdugo is allergic to his batting gloves, which cause blisters and rashes on his hands. Holding a bat is painful. Quote, my hands hurt. They blister. Then it opens and starts scabbing. It's like super dry skin. I've been dealing with this since 2021. I'm out of breath from standing up there because I was, showing off my tattoos there. So he causes dermatitis, a skin condition that can produce rashes, itching, and blisters. So, is this a legitimate excuse? I don't know what you do about this, by the way. Does he go barehanded now from now on? Does he become like John Olerud?
I think you go just spit on your hands and go for it. The old Hawk Tuah.
Hawk Tuah, baby.
I really think that's what you do. I mean, fuck, dude, that's got to be awful getting blisters on your hand. Of course, that's got to affect your swing if you can't get a good grip on the ball or bat.
Does he have tattoos on his hands?
I know he definitely does all the way up to his wrists.
Okay. Yeah, so I just haven't looked at his tattoos well enough, but yeah, I don't know.
But that is fascinating, right? I mean, another guy that in the league, just off the top, that I know, Kike Hernandez over the All-Star break went and got an eye appointment. I saw an ophthalmologist, and they told him, like, oh, yeah, you need glasses just in one eye, and he got a prescription for like his right eye, and he's been hitting way better ever since. It's crazy, but just like, hey, if your body's working well, turns out you have better results. So yeah, I think this could mean good things for Verdugo. I'm rooting for him anyways.
Or he'll just have to use some sort of batting glove that doesn't have these chemicals in it. Maybe there's something out there that's league approved. Who knows? But
dude, I take not being allergic to shit for granted so much. Like I have mild asthma, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not a big deal, but like I don't know. There's that lady she was a doctor, just died at Disneyland, dude, because she had.
I know. I saw that.
Like trying to avoid fucking
nuts
and dairy, and now Disney's trying to make him go to arbitration. Yeah, because the husband had signed up for a Disney Plus, and somewhere in that buried agreement.
It's the weirdest story ever.
It's just fucking, dude. It's just
bullshit.
Dystopian bullshit.
Yeah.
Garbo, dude. John Fisher bullshit. That guy fucking hates free speech. John Fisher, owner of the A's,
he does.
fucking hates
check out that clip.
Speech.
If you're sticking around this whole time, check out that clip because I enjoy that segment.
Yeah, we're gonna burn through these last couple things.
Yeah. So I want to bring up one topic: the Padres and Twins. This is a really funny one. We can spend like 2 minutes on this. The Padres and Twins have a very weird little connection here. That's very funny. You sent this to me. I enjoyed this one. The Padres have more Twins on their team than the Twins do, whereas the Twins have more Padres on the team than the Padres do. And what that means is the Padres have, Dylan Cease, Xander Bogaerts, and Matt Waldron on their team, who each have a fraternal twin brother.
That's a lot.
Whereas Minnesota Twins have more players who are actual parents. I don't know the names of the players, but they have more players on the team that are actual fathers than the Padres do. Just a weird little statistical coincidence. I don't know what that means, but I don't know. Maybe just those Twins players are fucking more than the Padres players are. You know, that would explain a lot if you ask me.
It's colder up in Minnesota, less things to do. Maybe you're banging more.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Or maybe just the Padres are just more selfish lovers, and that's why they have fewer children.
That's it.
But to have like
they're finishing before their partners are. They're pulling out, dude. They're like, they're not very giving.
But I gotta say, it is pretty fucking crazy to have like 4 or 5 dudes on your team that have twins, and you're all professional baseball players. Like, because you're just such a small percentage of the population, anyways. But then you have like 4 other dudes that have twins. It's like, man, you're not special at all. There's just other people like you, dude, at every level, and people doing it better than you. Go fucking kill yourself, loser. I'm just kidding.
It's gotta suck to be the twin that like didn't have the athletic gifts to be great at sports. You know what I mean? It's like, why was I singled out by God? You know what I mean?
I used to have Jesse, you knew me at this time, but I used to have a very impressive like long beard. And I once met
I remember.
I met a pitcher, a former closer for the San Francisco Giants.
I know, Brian Wilson. Yeah.
I met him, and I'm standing next to him, and I'm just like, oh my god.
Let me guess, he was in like Beverly Hills or West Hollywood. Where was he?
I ran into him, And I was talking to him. I was like, wow, I look like your very unsuccessful, like, twin brother. Like, just, like, shrunk down version of him. Just like, oh, you got all the nutrients in the womb, dude. So to all my fraternal twins that aren't pro athletes, but your twin is, like, in solidarity with you.
Hell yeah, dude. You know who people were not in solidarity with this weekend were a lot of boomers over in the New York Mets organization. We're going to do this one quick. I don't even know why I'm bringing this up, but it just pissed me off. The Hawk Tuah girl, you know, we talked a little bit about her. Haley Welch. She's a sweet girl. She made a sex joke on a fucking random street interview, and she became a celebrity. It's not her fault. You know what I mean? She made a sex joke. It's not her fault that she became this fucking internet star. It's really not.
You know what, dude? It's not her fault that we're in an election year. We need distraction, okay?
Yeah. The internet did it themselves, right? She did nothing to become famous. She made a joke. What is she supposed to do? She's supposed to capitalize on it. This is her one moment at becoming rich and famous, and it's like, hey, I'm going to do it, whatever.
Which is the most American thing you can do, by the way.
Yeah, dude.
Is fucking capitalize on your 15 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. So the New York Mets invite her to throw out the first pitch. She goes and does it, and everybody freaks out, dude. Like, the Mets commentators were freaking out. There were people just like comparing her to Kim Kardashian, or it was like just like disgusting comments by people that were. It was so gross. What was she doing there, Brandon? Tell the people what she was doing.
I believe she was supporting a veterans charity. I think for animals, for service
dogs.
Animals. Yeah,
yeah,
something pretty damn noble. And it's like, dude, a lot of these people talking shit are sure as hell not donating any time, let alone money, to any veteran charities. So it's just, the internet's going to internet. But yeah, no, I did see a lot of...
But it was old men who were mad about it. That's what was so funny. It was like old dudes.
It was a lot of incel behavior, if you will. So yeah, it was fucking ridiculous, dude. People need to chill. I saw somebody was like, well, how am I supposed to explain this to my kids? Like, why she's here? I was like, dude... If that's the biggest thing you're worried about, like to explain to your kids, like you're a fucking idiot, dude.
She's also like not that famous where you have to explain it to your kids. Like, because some girl threw out a first pitch and she has like she's doing some sort of veterans charity. That means you have to explain who she is to your kids.
Dude, and also like
just say, oh, she's like some celebrity. She does dog charity. That's how you explain it.
Honestly, Jesse, it's if you don't want to talk to your kids, just fucking say it. Don't blame it on this fucking little broad. You fucking
so
dweebs.
Stupid.
You hate your
dumbest
kids.
Story.
You're mad at your dad, not at me. I forgive you.
These are not the fans of the week. Let's put it that way. But
who is our fan of the week, Jess?
Well, it's a Chicago bar. It might be multiple people. I don't know if it's one guy who owns the bar, but
I think bars identify as they them.
Okay, so they. Right.
They.
Okay. So, fair enough.
They are the fan of the week.
We don't discriminate at the Deferred Collusion Podcast.
Never could, never would.
We support pronouns, and so the bar owner, put up a sign because Javy Baez, Chicago Cub legend, World Series champion, deserves respect. Current Detroit Tiger and holder of the worst contract in baseball, was back in town with the Chicago Cubs. And this bar, I don't remember where you sent it to me, Brandon. You sent it to me on Instagram, I believe.
I did.
Yeah. So this bar in Wrigley, it's called the Wrigleyville Bar. It's called Murphy's. It's in Wrigleyville. Put up a sign for Javy Baez's return to Chicago. It says, "Welcome back, Javy. We sure don't miss that batting average." I felt a little bad making this the fan of the week, but it was just so funny because in the game of Javy's return, he got a standing ovation from the crowd. So he got his love from the crowd, and then he goes 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts.
Jesse, you and I are both emo kids, and Murphy's Bar is vindicated. I am selfish. I am wrong. I am right. I swear I'm right. I swear I knew it all along. And Jesse.
Wow. Okay.
That's another episode of Deferred Collusion, Papas.
Brandon, thank you so much. We're not gonna let this go an hour. That was fun.
That was a lot of fun. We were backed up. We gotta be better about getting all these clips out. But I'm glad we're back on it. Baseball's super exciting. Every division's basically a race right now, and yeah, dude, I'm excited to tap back in, brother. Dude, what do you got your eye on in these streets, Papa?
We'll do some reactions to when the playoffs come around. Maybe a little bit of coverage of when the division race heats up, things like that. So we'll have some fun. But yeah, all right, brother.
It's almost wild card watch, Big Daddy. We're almost there. Anyways,
have a good night.
From Deferred Collusion, it's your boy B. This is Jay. Like us, subscribe us if you think we're decent. We'd love it.
Absolutely.
We love you.
Yeah, or don't. Just let us know what you think about us in general.
Either way.
Yeah.
Either way, it's fine. Either way.
All right, brother.
See you in the streets.
Peace.